Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the SKMEI 9318. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm still wearing my Islander ISL-167 Roslyn. This will probably be my last wrist check with it because I'm reviewing it next. And Grogu is wearing my SKMEI 9305 homage to a Panerai. Grogu smarted off to Mando the other day, and Mando said, "You need to change your attitude." And Grogu responded, "You need to change your platitude." Alright, let's take a look at the watch. The watch did not come in a box. You can get a box if you want, but it's an extra $2. And do you really want to pay an extra $2 on a watch this affordable just for a box? I don't think so. This is not the first SKMEI on my channel, but it is the first SKMEI analog chronograph, and I must say it looks pretty nice for the $15 I paid for it. I call this a winking panda since the left subdial is white. I don't know if that is the official nickname of this type of panda, but that is the term I'm going to use, even though it makes no sense since if a panda winks, its eye patch doesn't turn white. For $15 on AliExpress, you may get a watch that looks nice and tells the time, but you're not going to get premium features. This watch has a chrome-plated case, glass crystal, and a small second chronograph hand. But it does have a genuine leather strap that seems much nicer than a $15 watch deserves. I mentioned that this watch was white when actually it's more of a cream color, giving the watch an aged look. The numerals and other dial markings do have a retro look, and I think it really works for this watch. If you don't like the winking panda, there's also a reverse winking panda. If you don't want your panda to wink, there's also an all black. For an extra $2, you can get a box. I saved the $2. The watch is 43.9 millimeters at the bezel, 52.7 millimeters lug to lug. It's 13.2 millimeters thick, including the domed crystal. Has a 22 millimeter lug width and only weighs 63 grams on the supplied leather strap. So this is a fairly big watch, but it's weird though because it doesn't seem big, especially when you wear it. Then the bezel is just smooth, and the tachymeter is on the actual dial, not the bezel. And then once we get past the tachymeter, we have the chapter ring. Then we have the numeral indices. And as you can see, the font looks like a fairly old-fashioned font, which I think really works for this watch. It gives it a real retro look. Then we have the stick hands. The stick hands are loomed. And then we have the arrow tip second hand, and it is not loomed. And it looks like it's hitting the marks though. That's always nice. And then we have a date at the 4:30. The date window is round. And then we have the 3 subdials. We have the useless 24-hour indicator on the right. Well, no, it's not useless. It's just I think there's better uses for a subdial than 24-hour indicator. Then the bottom subdial is the chronograph second hand, and the left subdial is the chronograph minute hand. So, of course, being a small second chronograph, you just press the top pusher and starts ticking. There are no sub-seconds. Press it again to stop it, and this resets it. Then we have a unsigned push-pull crown. The crown action doesn't seem too loose, so let's see what happens when we press it in. Do we get a minute hand jump? It kind of flopped around but stayed in place. Let's try that again, make sure it's consistent. Okay, that one went backwards just a little bit. Let's do one more. Okay, it seemed to went backwards just a hair, but not enough to be annoying. So I don't think it's too bad. Then we have a domed glass crystal, and it's single dome because you can see the distortion. And then we have the case. The case is a chrome-plated zinc alloy. You're not going to get steel at this price, but it looks nice. And it's, I mean, not all chrome plated watches are created equal, and some look really bad. This one looks pretty good. It's got a nice shape to it. And then it's got these fake screws here, which look kind of nice too. Of course, it would have been nicer if they were just lug holes to make strap changes easier, because this does not have quick release. But I think the screws look nice. And I didn't try to unscrew them, because last time I tried to unscrew decorative screws on the lugs, I actually lost it in the carpet. So I'm not going to try that again. Then we have the case back. The case back's just a press on. Has the SKMEI name, the model number, just 30 meters of water resistance, and that gives you the battery code, so you know which battery to use before you pop the case back off. That's kind of a nice feature. And I don't know what the movement is. I didn't want to pop the case back off, because a lot of times you don't see any writing on them anyway when they're this cheap. And it's a small second chronograph hand. It's obviously Chinese made, because if it was Japanese, they would advertise it. Then we have the strap. The strap is really nice. It says genuine leather, and I believe them. It feels like good quality. It's not soft, but it feels sturdy. So if they're lying, if it's not real leather, it's pretty good synthetic leather. Then it's got the stitching here that looks nice. And you can get this in brown, but you can't get it in brown with the winking panda. You can only get it in brown with the reverse winking panda, which seems like an odd decision. Then the buckle, though, is brushed, and not polished, so it doesn't match the case. I mean, at least it's not a different color, but yeah, you can see a distinct difference there. And then we have the two keepers, one floating and one fixed. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. This is a big watch, but it looks nice, and it wears nice. Wears nice and flat. It doesn't feel like a 44mm watch. It really doesn't. So I think you can pull this off if you have a smaller wrist. And I have 3 notches left, so you'll be able to wear this about 8 1/4 without changing straps. Here we are in the loom room, just wearing the watch. I couldn't even tell if it had loom, not expecting much with this test. As we speed up the time, we see that only the major hands are loomed, and it is fading fairly fast. This is not good loom at all. What do I like about this watch? Well, I like the retro design. I think it looks pretty cool. And I like this genuine leather strap. I think it's a very nice strap considering the price of this watch. And I like these red subdial hands in second hand. I think it's a good touch. What are my gripes and groans? Lousy loom, small second chronograph with a tachymeter, and the brush buckle doesn't match the polished looking case. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. This watch looks and wears great, and it's only $15 and comes with a very nice genuine leather strap. I've enjoyed my time wearing this watch, and I think you will also. Well, thank you for watching my review of the SKMEI 9318, and I will be back with another review. More than likely that Islander I'm wearing. I need to get that reviewed so I can send it back to Mark. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.